If you've ever heard somebody say, you're just going to have to learn how to live with this, or you will get triggered for the rest of your life, then respectfully, they don't know enough. I am Pauline, and I am truly so happy you are here because the fearful avoidant attachment style is exhausting and overwhelming. And to have somebody say, you're gonna have to live with this for the rest of your life and you will get triggered for the rest of your life, they clearly have not experienced the depths of the fearful avoidant attachment style, because if you have, you would never say that to somebody. And they clearly do not know enough. And I really don't mean that in a mean, bratty way, but what I really have a hard time accepting is when even well-intended people, and I'm gonna have to say therapists and coaches mostly, because that power dynamic that you're in with that person makes this even more a more heavy thing to say. When they say that you're gonna have to live with this, all they're saying is, I haven't found a way to get out of this. I don't know how to help you. I haven't taken the time and put the energy into finding all possible ways that you could heal to the point that this doesn't bother you anymore, that it's not an issue anymore. And sometimes things like these are said to, I guess, kind of offer comfort in a way, where they're trying to get you to see the reality of this. And I say that like that because it is so easy to say that from the perspective of somebody that hasn't gone through it. But it's like saying to somebody who is out on an absolute storm at sea with waves that are over 10 meters high, they're going to say, well, you'll just float and, you'll just have to accept this. It doesn't feel like you can because the waves are crashing down on you and you're not sure if you're going to survive that. Then having somebody say, you're just going to have to learn to live with this, is not going to be helpful, to say the least. And I'm going to break down why nobody can say that to you. Why that is never ever a truth. Because I want you to know that there are always possibilities. There are always options. And you absolutely do not have to live like this. But I will back it up. Because, first of all, when somebody says that, you're gonna have to learn how to live with this for the rest of your life. And just to give some context, these are things that I've heard in the past week from Fearful Avoidants that said that they had heard this and it crushed their spirits. So that's why I made this video. But if somebody says you're gonna have to learn to live with this for the rest of your life, immediately my mind goes to, how the F do you know what the rest of your life is going to look like, in terms of, just look at the enormous amounts of new therapies that have come out in the past 5 years, 10 years. You don't know what the next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years are gonna look like. Who knows, maybe there will be a pill that we can take in 10 years that will just immediately release all the trauma that we have from our bodies. We can't imagine it now, but we couldn't imagine some of the therapies we have now 10 years ago. EMDR, EFT, being able to release and process emotions and feelings within minutes, process, release, and heal trauma, enormous trauma, within minutes. We couldn't imagine that. We couldn't imagine that 20 years ago. So who knows what will happen in the next decades? You can never ever say to somebody, you will have to deal with this for the rest of your life, because you are only then looking from the perspective of where you are now and what is available now. And even that, one person, whether that's the best therapist in the world or just somebody, just your parents or friends, nobody has a full scope of what is available. Nobody has a full scope of your capabilities. You don't even have that. You are so much stronger than you think. You are capable of so much more than you think. And I know you don't feel like it, and it feels exhausting to hear that. Like you have to struggle your way through this and put in a lot of effort. I'm not talking about effort. There are so many things that you have that you are not aware of. And there are so many types of therapies, tools, modalities in the world that you probably don't know of. I don't even know all of them, I'm absolutely sure. And I do this full time. So you can never, ever, 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 from the perspective of being in this time, say that something is going to be like that for the rest of your life. It is, I'm going to say it, it is dismissive and disrespectful, because it is only a testament to your own unwillingness to put the time and effort into figuring out a way. And that might sound mean. I do empathize with therapists that are usually just, very busy, and they do really genuinely want to help people. I know that. But they just don't then have the time to really go in and understand. And that's another thing that so many of the people that say this, and that could be friends, that could be relatives, it could be therapists, whoever it is, the fearful avoidant attachment style is one of the most complex attachment styles. It's the most deeply complex psychological attachment style out of the four. And so it takes time and skill and effort to map that out. And I'm not saying it's wrong if you don't. I understand that not everybody has the time to do that, or the drive or the motivation to do that. But to say something like you're gonna have to learn to live with this and you will get triggered for the rest of your life from the perspective of somebody that hasn't put that time and effort into it, I just don't think that's fair to you, because it is absolutely possible. And when there's multiple people that have done it, you can do it too. And it might not feel like it, and it might feel like you still have so much work to do. But I want to give you that hope, that outlook, that this is absolutely not something that you have to live with for the rest of your life. Because saying that while you are in the crash state of the fearful avoidant attachment style immediately goes into your black and white thinking and thinking, okay, so it's never going to get better. And what is that going to do? It's not going to serve you. It's not going to help you. So you can't even imagine maybe now that you will get to a place where you're not triggered anymore. Pretty much not at all. And when you're triggered, it's 1/10 of what you're feeling now. It's more an interesting, oh, that does something. And then you get to be curious. You won't be scared of other people anymore. You won't be scared that they're going to be angry, that they will betray you, that they will abandon you, reject you, and humiliate you, mock you, shame you. You will feel so much more powerful than you can imagine. And even hearing that might be frightening right now, because being powerful, there's a lot of negative associations around that. But the freedom it gives you, first of all, it's going to feel so normal to feel powerful. And it's going to give you freedom, because the more powerful you feel, the more you know that you can influence the trajectory of your life. And you can influence what your life is going to be like to a great extent. You will get to a point where you feel safe and where you have relationships and friendships that you can just relax into and be yourself. And the most intriguing thing is that it will feel so normal. It will feel like that has always been the case. So it's not a matter of that it's so far away and that you have to work so hard to get there. It doesn't have to take years. Obviously, I can't say it's only going to take however long. Everybody's journey is different. But I just want to give you hope and perspective that if you have the right help, you have the right tools, and you have the right knowledge, that this doesn't have to influence you for the rest of your life, that you can get to a place where you're dominantly secure. You will get to a place where you're dominantly securely attached. And the Fearful Avoidant attachment style was just a chapter that opened your world to healing, to getting to know yourself to a level that pretty much no one ever gets to. And that gives you so many gifts that you already have but can't enjoy now because they're fear driven. I have a video on that. I really wish for you to see that, because I want you to know that you're valuable already, just as you are. And all I want for you is to have that freedom, to experience happiness and to experience those gifts. So don't let anybody ever tell you that you will have to learn how to live with this for the rest of your life, or that you will get triggered for the rest of your life, because there is an after. There is a point when you've healed and you look back on all of those times that you were triggered, on all of those times that you've heard stuff like this, and you think, man, am I happy I didn't listen to that I didn't take that seriously. So if you're exhausted right now, rest. You don't have to heal all the time. It's not that you're worthy when you've healed. You're worthy. You've always been worthy. And it's just a matter of allowing it, allowing yourself to feel that. Trust yourself and trust that there is always more help, and there are always more possibilities than you can see now, than anyone can see now. And you never know what good things will happen in the future, what new therapies will emerge, what new ways of healing will emerge that will make all of this so much easier. I just want you to know all of this. And I wish I could give you the biggest hug right now. I really do. But I just really hope that this lands, and that you know that you're not different from others. It doesn't have to be harder for you. You're not too broken. When you have the desire to heal, there is a way to heal that fits you, that feels good. I am truly so happy you are here. And I always say that because I know that's not an absolute guarantee. So I'm happy you're here. And I really hope this gives you something today that will help you. And I will see you in the next video.